New Yorkers, I'm talking to you. August 19th to 23rd, put it in your calendar. Morefest is New York City's first festival dedicated entirely to celebrating everything Irish. Taking place in Tower Moor, a Donegal-owned business in the heart of Manhattan, Morefest will showcase the very best of Ireland through food, drink, of course, music, entertainment, business, sport, and culture. For a city home to more than 2.1 million residents of Irish descent, one of the largest Irish communities anywhere outside of Ireland, there is no better place to celebrate the success of the Irish than New York City. Check out their Instagram for the full lineup. There is truly something for everyone across the 5 days. Tickets are available at Morefest NYC on their Instagram or www.morefestnyc.com. I will be there with bells and whistles, and I hope to see you there too. Thank you very much. Oh.
Fabulous. You put such a love
Those. Perfect. I think that's our cue.
All right.
Guys, welcome to Rolling with the Rose today. I'm here with my great friend Amanda, the
Hello.
Joytender.
Correct.
If I could read on your business card.
Oh, please, yes.
These are your titles. Okay, so Joytender, Joy Station.
Yep.
Dress up box, musical items.
Correct.
Ribbon sticks.
Got it.
Puppets and crafts. Campfire s'mores, giant bubbles, and free whistles.
Ah,
Yes.
yes. And
I
a
love
giant cunt fan.
Yes, the cunt fan. You had to bring it. I need to.
Oh yeah, honey, I usually have two. So
I need. Oh, God.
feel free. Feel
Yeah.
free.
Okay, you see what we're working with right here. Yep. Gabe's taking a picture.
Nice.
Okay, well, Amanda, I think a great place to start
Yeah.
is how you and I met. Amanda
Instantly.
and I met at Seanchoiche, which we have spoken about on here before.
Yeah.
Because Sarah, my cousin, and I used to do this podcast together initially. And may she rest in peace. No, she's still with us. She's just in Australia. But she went to see Seanchoiche in Ireland and approached Kieran Gaffney.
Yeah.
She went up to him and said, Jack needs to do this. Like, Jack
Yes.
needs to do this. So then they reached out to me and they were like, you should apply or whatever. So I did that and then spoke at Seanchoiche. When was that? March 13th?
It
in my
was
head?
January.
Was it?
Yeah. I looked back. I scrolled back on our Instagram.
That was January.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, that's actually freaks me out. I really thought it was March. For some reason, I thought it was March 19th.
No.
Or 13th. Okay, so there's a theme of the night, and our theme was childhood. But I took it very literally.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, childhood. Hi, my name is Jack Rowe. I'm from Ballina, County Mayo, and I used to love still love Britney Spears.
Love Britney Spears.
And I took it very literally.
Yeah.
And so you were you first up?
No, I was like second half.
Okay, right.
Yeah, I was like towards the end.
We had a great. The first person actually. That was that girl. She was beautiful. She did a poem about bricks.
Yeah.
Remember, and like building of houses and
Yeah, it's
architecture.
very abstract.
It was very abstract, and I don't. My brain does not work that way. I figured that as much. But then that was where we were like sat beside each other ahead of speaking. Were you really nervous?
No.
No, you were calm.
Well, I mean, I think that what my mom always said about public speaking is that you're not trying to get rid of the butterflies, you're trying to help them fly in formation.
That's amazing.
And so what I try to do is I notice that my body will have certain sensations.
Like bang, 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 bang,
Yeah, right. And maybe do some 4-7-8 breathing, which is really great grounding technique. So I wouldn't say I was elevated, but I wasn't like freaking out. I was like, it's the spirit, the Holy Spirit is going to be here. It's going to come through me. I am a vessel for the Spirit. And so as long as I stay true and grounded to myself, whatever is going to happen is supposed to happen.
In the name of the Father, the Son,
and the
Holy
Spirit.
Spirit.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love that. That was like the first thing you said to me.
It was,
amazing.
which is kind of weird, but I was like, I'm in good company. It was an energy.
And it was an energy thing. We just discovered we're both Geminis.
Yes.
Crazy.
Which tracks.
First half Gemini and second half Gemini.
Yeah.
Right here.
All of our twins are here.
Yes.
Multiple.
So I love a fellow Gemini, but especially an early Gemini.
Yeah.
Shout out to Queen Shelley. who is my early Gemini queen.
Nice.
Yes. And so as I said, when I spoke about childhood at Seanchoiche, I was very literally speaking about growing up in the west of Ireland, loving Britney Spears and not knowing what to do with that.
Yeah, yeah.
And you spoke about an amazing story, my dad, Playboy Me, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to explain a little bit about that? Because I think it's really amazing.
Yeah, sure. So let's go back to the cozy memories of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God.
I know.
Really?
Yeah. So I've been a social worker for 25 years. I've worked with people in all stages of life, and I had been working at a retirement community.
Mm-hmm.
I lost
Not
that
easy.
job. Not easy. Lost that job. And so I started scanning my dad's Playboy photos. Well, I started scanning all of my dad's photos.
Right.
So I scanned 10,000 of my father's images.
Were these like physical photos?
Yeah. So 35 millimeter strips of film.
Wow.
And also slide film.
Mm-hmm.
So I had boxes and boxes of film that my mom had dropped off in my basement. And I was like, I went through all of, what Netflix had to offer and the Tiger King, and was like, I should look at what my dad left behind, because he died when I was 16.
Oh, wow, okay.
So I'm now, at that time, I was like 42.
Yeah.
And I was going through all of my dead dad's photos.
Yeah.
Of which I found 600 that were taken at the Playboy Club throughout the 1970s. So they're mostly black and white, but there are some color, and they're really fascinating documentary style pictures. So I've spoken to people who have worked at Playboy. I've actually interviewed Marston Hefner.
Oh, really?
Hugh
Is that
Hefner's son.
his son?
Yeah.
What's he like?
His queer son.
Yeah.
Really interesting. He's super sweet, and he identifies as a sex worker, and he takes pictures of himself for his OnlyFans, and his birth family are disapproving of that, which I find.
His birth family meaning like Hugh Hefner?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like his brother, and he has this, his sister, and yeah, so he has like half siblings from the his father's activities, and he's actually gotten some shade from his family for like exposing his naked body in exchange for money.
From the Playboy family?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway,
make that make sense.
Yeah, make that make sense. So, but I met with him and online and showed him the pictures, and everybody says that these pictures are really unique in terms of a lot of the pictures that professional photographers took. Playboy owns them.
Yeah.
So these pictures are actually owned by my family.
Okay.
My dad wasn't ever paid by Playboy. He was just a patron of the club. So he was
in is this in where the grotto is, the house in
No,
Hollywood?
So those were the mansions.
That's the
So
mansion.
there were private residences, which were the mansions, one in California and one in Chicago.
Okay.
What Hugh Hefner and Playboy did was create a kind of like Soho House. You pay a membership.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And you could go to a Playboy club. And there were 31 clubs internationally. So there was one in Jamaica. There was one in London that was also a casino. There was one in New York City. There was, all over the place.
Yeah.
And there was one near my hometown in Vernon, New Jersey. So my dad would go to that specific club with my mom and my brother and my sister, and they would have ice cream and look at the Playboy bunnies and see live music.
Was it a sleazy kind of place?
No. It was like a country club.
Okay,
right. It was a hotel. You could go swimming. You could.
Nice place to like just be.
Yeah, it was a whole like spa complex.
Right. Okay.
That served
I never
food.
knew that.
Yeah, and it was like family oriented.
Okay. Cool. What was it called?
The Playboy Club.
Really?
Yeah, it was just the Playboy Club, and it was. I mean, that specific one I think was the Great Gorge Playboy Club in New Jersey, but they all had different locations. And it was interesting when I was doing the research about the brand, was that during American segregation, what Hugh Hefner said was all of my clubs can't be segregated. So these acts need to be able to, Ella Fitzgerald or, Aretha Franklin did her first show ever, paid gig in a Playboy club.
Wow.
And
was that?
That was like the one I think in Chicago.
Chicago, yeah.
But what he said was that all these acts should be able to come in through the front door. They shouldn't have to enter through the kitchen, or and so what I try to do in my show is tell parts of the Playboy story that people don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm
already learning a lot about.
I'm not saying that they were perfect. No. But what I am trying to say is that history is more layered and complex, and when we try to flatten it, it actually doesn't tell a full picture. So I went through these pictures and was really fascinated by them. And some people wanted to approach me and was like, we could make tea towels, we could do merchandise. And I was like, I don't want to sell pictures of other women's bodies.
Yeah.
And that's it. Right, that there's no finesse to that.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to know was the stories behind the photos.
Yeah.
And so some local press did an article, and I had people who used to work for the Playboy Club contact me, and I started to interview them. And also, a lot of the women who worked there said that the professional photographers would charge them money for their own images, and so they didn't get a copy of their picture. Because they'd have to buy it, and sometimes it was really expensive. So what I was trying to do was to repatriate these pictures with the women who were in them. And then if they want to tell me their story, I would love to hear it. And so I started to gather the stories, and then that turned into a comedy slideshow.
Yeah, so and that's where your Instagram handle comes from.
Yes.
Right. So
not your average slideshow.
Okay, at Not Your Average Slideshow.
Yeah, it's a mouthful.
Get on it.
Yeah.
It is a bit of
It's a mouthful, and I'm also shadow banned because I work with so many strippers.
Oh yeah.
So you have to spell it absolutely correct.
Or else
and
it's
if
not
you will not find me. But which is fine. But
okay, well, I will have it tagged below.
Thank you.
I'll have all the deets tagged below.
I appreciate it.
So how did you go from being in the basement, going through all the 35mm footage, to deciding, okay, actually this is something that I want people to see and I want to take this further onto the stage?
Well, I was in the bath. And I was doing some kirtan chanting, actually. It's part of my spiritual practices. And this voice in my head said, you need to stop participating in the conspiracy against your own power.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And that was really an invitation to say, this story could go somewhere, that you could do something with this story. And slideshows, my grandfather used to do them, like set up the projector, set up the screen. Everybody would get around. It was intergenerational. It was an after dinner kind of activity.
Fun.
Yeah, and so after the pandemic, when we all started to kind of gather again, I thought, let me try this out. So I spoke to a friend who had a cafe, and and he gave me the space in the back of it.
Here in New York?
That was actually in
Jersey?
in Connecticut.
Okay.
But then since then, that was the first one I did, and then I started to incorporate burlesque performers.
Yeah, and so that's a
kind
area
of
of interest
cabaret.
for you as well.
And a cabaret version. So I do it at the Slipper Room here in New York City.
Yes, which we are going to take me to someday.
Yes,
okay,
tonight,
I look forward
if you've got
to
time,
that.
I will take you. Yeah.
Yay.
But it was really about trying to tell the story about how not just amplifying the stories of these women who were in service, but also about how going through my father's photos helped me repair my relationship with him after he died when I was 17. I'm going through his pictures when I'm in my 40s.
Your 40s, yeah.
And I had all this congested grief that I was able to work through and heal from.
Yeah.
And process. And now when I think of my dad, literally like the neural pathway between me and his memory is now filled with joy and happiness and love. And it's not this story of grief that I once used to tell myself.
Yeah.
And so telling that story about how art can help you heal really resonated with people, particularly after the pandemic when so many people lost loved ones.
Yeah.
And what I was able to do was connect with my father, who had long since passed, but dynamically change our relationship. Where, and I think that goes back to the Seanchoiche story of what I said at the end about childhood, is that I'm starting to really enjoy my childhood because my internal child is incredibly well fed.
Yeah.
And that and I look through the lens of art and service to others.
And is that what you would say being an artist means to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's meaning being of service to others.
That
bringing meaning.
That art and having a creative practice
is integral.
Yes.
Yeah.
and that when you make it, some people are in the arts or they perform because they enjoy doing it and because they want to get famous.
Yeah. I mean,
that's why they do it, right? And there's no shade, but really for me, it's about that performance is service.
Yeah.
That service is performance, right? So, you know, whether I'm wearing a hairnet or whether I'm on stage or whatever I'm doing, that I am in service to others.
Yeah.
And that bringing that, how I'm able to use my artistic voice to be able to be of service to others and tell my story so that they can then hopefully apply that to take responsibility for their own healing.
I love that, where, how you say, if I'm in a hairnet, it's a performance, like, so, like, as a server or whatever. I used to think of it like that as well.
Yeah.
Like, this is like a performance. And I swear, your shift goes so much faster when you view it as a performance.
Yes.
It really does.
Yeah.
When you kind of like, okay, you know, you step into it and you're going to have a little bit of fun. On the shifts where, like, when I worked in a bar, where I decided, like, actually, you know what, I'm really going to lean into this tonight. They would be so much fun. Now, not every shift was like that, of course, but there was one shift in particular. I remember I was reading. I used to never be able to remember the specials.
Classic.
I was just like, fuck's sake, like, you know, it's like whatever, it's teriyaki chicken, like, you know, but then they want you to say, like, what it's with or whatever. And like, I used to carry it around in my back pocket. I went over to this table, and I was like, okay, so the specials are, and I took it out of my thing, and I was like, oh god, it's like kind of long, and I was like, teriyaki glazed salmon with miso, I'm making it up, with miso fluffy rice, buffalo cauliflower served with a sweet curry sauce. Now put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Nice. Nice.
And like, I just think that, like, the whole table, like, erupted laughing, and I was like, okay, this is gonna be a fun shift.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I know, I agree with you entirely about art being a service, and performance is absolutely everywhere.
Yes.
Sorry, I went a little bit off.
No, I loved it.
There.
And one of the things that I used to do in the show when I'm performing is and I think I did this with the Seanchoiche, is talk about Saint Amandus, who is the patron saint of the bartender.
Oh, yes, you did. Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm Amanda, Saint Amanda, some like reincarnation. But yeah, there was an actual saint called Saint Amandus. And they were the patron saint of bartenders and winemakers. And so there's a part in the show where I talk and I give a toast to the
Saint
people
Amandus.
who are literally in service. So we wouldn't, you know, when
they
you're in
deserve the biggest toast.
Yes.
They really do.
So it's
it ain't easy.
No, it's not easy being in, and if without them, we wouldn't be able to gather, and we wouldn't be able to storytell, and we wouldn't be able to actually make meaning of the lives that we enjoy.
So true. And like, even like service workers have, like, they have much more interesting stories, you know what I mean, than like whatever other jobs, you know. Like, I just feel like the stories that people have, or even just like their way of looking at life, you know, kind of, fuck this, like, you know, it's funny.
Yeah.
And it's like enjoyable to be around. Not everything's perfect.
No.
And they will let you know that. And it's great, you know? And so Saint Amandus, what's that part of the show like? How do you give toast to that?
Oh, I mean, there's some pictures in there's one.
So this is the collection of photos.
This is the collection of photos.
Right.
And there's one picture in particular where a woman is holding a coffee mug, and she's about to, you can't tell if it's at 3 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and her eyes are kind of like, you know, her hair's all done, but she's not giving the big Playboy bunny smile. She's like, I want this coffee for myself.
Okay.
And so I think, you know, at that point, it gets a big laugh, but it's also about how there's so many people who have been in the service industry who can relate to that.
Yeah.
And so it's really my honoring the work that it goes behind the
Goes
service.
on behind the scenes.
And sometimes when the mask comes off and you just need to be human, and that's a reality.
Been there many
and
times.
That's a reality, and that we need to have grace and compassion for one another.
So true.
Because we are all divine servants of one another.
Yeah, absolutely. And so getting the pictures from there to the book.
Yeah.
When did the book come around?
Oh, well, actually, I mean, this book is like a one-off.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, I mean, people have said to me so many times, like, oh, are you going to get this published? Like, you know, like, where can I find these pictures? Where can I buy these pictures? But getting it published is really hard.
Publishing is no joke.
Publishing is really, really tough. So sadly, like at this point, the pictures are very much on the shelf. I haven't. The website that I have is coming to an end.
Oh, why is that?
Well, it's been a really fun, expensive hobby.
It is expensive. Like you pay for the domain on a monthly basis,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I think for me, the pictures were a gift for me to have the experience of performance and have the relationships that I've built within the burlesque community internationally. I mean, I've performed in Edinburgh Fringe, I've performed in Berlin and London and LA. And so that has now kind of morphed into my own voice as an activist and as a performance artist that now does like site specific work. So I'm not really focused on doing a slideshow where I have the tech requirements and ticket sales and you know, that's just kind of not where I want to be right now with economy. So instead what I'm focusing on is doing things that is accessible. So going back to this Joytender idea, what I do is I take my Joy Station.
So that's the Joytender, which I love. This business card, I love that.
Thank you.
I'm gonna keep it in my wallet.
So so really, and I bring that to Central Park.
Okay.
And
so you go and you set up in Central Park.
Yeah, and I hang out and I talk to people about
whereabouts in Central Park.
Oh, I just walk all over.
Where? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. And the point of it is really to help people think about their relationship to joy. Yeah. And how do they tend and practice joy regularly.
Okay.
And essentially what I find as a social worker is that there's a relationship between joy and suffering. Yeah. And that we put the ceiling of our joy when we limit our capacity to really sit with discomfort and suffering that we're experiencing. And so I talk to people about cognitive behavior therapy and breath work and ways in which they can help regulate their nervous system.
Love breath work. So what would you say your relationship to joy is then?
I mean, joy is the way in which I feel alive, and spreading joy and being in a state of joy as a practice, and knowing that doesn't mean like I wake up and I'm like, hey, it's joy, but that really my destination is liberation, spiritual liberation, political liberation, and so joy is the gas in the tank that helps me to have difficult conversations, to really fight and advocate in my activism, to possibly sometimes put myself in uncomfortable positions to be able to
like break those barriers.
Yeah.
And it's definitely not a consistent joy. Like, is it up and down?
I mean, I think that it's like I think that it's a balance of that. You also need to be able to sit with the suffering, the suffering and the pain and the reality.
But if you don't have the pain and stuff, can you have the joy? Because you wouldn't know.
But a lot of people right now are disassociating or are finding it difficult to acknowledge and process the levels of suffering that we observe.
That's actually a great point.
So what I'm trying to do is find a way to talk to people about how they're able to engage with their distress tolerance by way of saying, let's play with puppets, which we do play with puppets, but it's also about helping people see that there is a relationship between their capacity for joy connected to their willingness to really sit with some uncomfortable feelings.
And do you bring with you like what you have with you, like because you have all
I mean, I usually have like a backpack which has got my vagina drum in it, the glow in the dark vagina drum, and then it's quite good because I can then put a lot of this, I guess, sort of stuff things inside the drum.
Okay, perfect.
And then put it on my back, and then
then you take off.
And then my mom helped me make a big banner, and that says Joy Station. And
okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then are you in like one place, or you said you're walking around, right? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm kind of bopping around.
Okay, I love that. I love the word
Yeah,
bopping.
because and I also like there's other performers there. So if somebody's like doing some music, I'll bring out my giant bubbles and I'll be blowing bubbles, and we'll create a whole
taking it all in.
Yeah, create a whole vibe, because I think really people don't have, we don't have a lot of money to be spending on, come to my gig and see my show. It's more like I'm just trying to be out in the community and to spread the holy queer around New York City.
That's so fabulous. I hope I run into you soon. So I live right beside Central Park. Yeah, I live in.
I'll let you know when I'm there, so
yes,
you
please
can come.
Do.
You can do like a field. We could do like a field recording.
Yeah. Oh my God, I need to start doing some of those.
Yeah.
I really do. I'm doing one, I think, next week I think I'm doing one in Boston. My friend's opening a bar. So
fun.
Yeah,
I went to
he
school in
wanted me
Boston.
to come. You were just up in Boston?
No, I went to school that's where I got my social work degree.
Oh, no way.
At a school called Wheelock, which no longer exists.
Is that in the city?
But it's right. It's in the city. It's in the Fenway.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I lived in Cambridge.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry, Somerville.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Nice.
But my friend is opening a bar. I can't remember where.
Yeah.
But it's going to be called St. Bridget's Well. Yeah.
Classic. Oh my God, that's great.
I know. Yeah. So I'm very excited for him. So I think I'm doing some.
He should have some. He should have some of the. I don't know what kind of artwork he's planning on putting up.
I don't know actually.
But the Growler.
Yeah.
Would be great.
Yeah. True.
They're
actually.
A great an Irish artist based in Berlin.
Okay. Right. I'll send him over that. But it's funny because my national school was St. Bridget's School.
Aww.
So it's 1st of February is St. Bridget's Day. Yeah, we would make St. Bridget's crosses. Did you ever make one?
I've never. I've seen them, but I've never made one.
Yeah, so it's like I could like literally close my eyes and make them. Like we would make them.
Oh my
just
God,
like,
we have to do a St. Bridget
yeah, I can totally. Yes, I can totally
Please.
show you how to do it. But it was honestly like. It was like if you looked in the window, you would think it was like unpaid labor of children. Like because we were making them, it's like for my mum, and then wrap it up perfect for my dad, and they were like trying to make it really quick. My granny, and like we're like making them all like bang, like, and we would have to go collect the rushes, which is like long stemmed thick grass that you can make them with. And we would bring in bin bags full of rushes, and it would be like an all-day activity. We all sit around and we're just like banging them out, like making them
in service to St. Bridget.
Yes, because she was
beautiful.
our like patron saint of our school.
Yeah.
I guess. But so earlier on when we were speaking this morning, I know things change or whatever. You're going to go to, which I loved hearing this.
The Puppet Fringe Festival.
The Puppet Fringe Festival.
Yes.
Yeah. So is that still on, or?
It is. The Puppet Fringe Festival is on in New York City, in the Lower East Side, and you can go and enjoy
in venues.
In venues, and it's just like different. It's different, professional puppeteers doing puppet performance. And so why I was interested in it was because my ex-wife, who used to work for the BBC and did lots of, she used to make puppets and make different puppet props.
Yeah.
And it got me thinking about, I'm always thinking about Donald Trump, really. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Not always, but quite a lot.
Yeah.
Because I pray for him. I pray for his soul.
Mm-hmm. That's nice.
I think he could use somebody praying for his soul. Mm-hmm. That's why I went outside of Trump Tower on Juneteenth with my vagina drum and banged my vagina drum outside. Those
pictures are amazing.
Outside of Trump Tower.
Yeah.
And spoke to him and spoke to the building. And so as a kind of...
Was there issues with security when that was happening?
Surprisingly not.
Really?
No, but I also totally acted like I was this like lost tourist.
Okay.
And I was like, where's Trump Tower? And then I was like, can somebody take a picture of me in front of Trump? And so I kind of like did this whole character. Mm-hmm. So they sort of were disarmed by me, and I just sort of ranted at the building, and it was great.
Where did so was there like kind of was there people kind of reacting?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, people react. Some people were like wanting to take pictures with me and like totally got it. And I was, like there on Juneteenth talking about what liberation could look like and how we're not all liberated. And
Juneteenth, just for my Irish listeners,
of course, is an American holiday that is celebrating the end of slavery in America.
Okay. Right. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's more recently been made a federal holiday.
Okay.
And so I think for me as a white cisgender, queer person, I was like, I feel like this is a day for me to engage in political activism.
Absolutely.
And so I had the day off, and I went and I made a kind of political scene outside of Trump Tower. And I did hire a photographer, but I had her start from the other side of the street and like pretend that she didn't know me. And then I was like, if I don't get arrested, or if I do get arrested, like come take pictures. So
definitely if I get arrested.
Definitely if I get arrested. But no, they were just like, they were, I mean, some people were confused, and I definitely got a lot of negative feedback on my social media. So friends. So
it reached the wrong crowd, is it?
Oh no, it reached every crowd that it was supposed to, but it was just that some people like don't like the vagina drum, and they're like, oh, this is like, oh, disgusting, or
and
like
the symbolism of the vagina drum.
Yeah, and I'm just like, it's not even that accurate.
Okay, right.
As far as vaginas go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think for me, spiritually, I needed to express myself in that way, and however, if it resonated with some people and they wanted to take pictures, and some people were like curious and confused. I didn't get any negative, like nobody was like yelling.
So
anything.
No one yelled at the moment on the street?
No.
Okay, were you surprised by that?
No, I mean, it's New York City.
Yeah, I mean, there's always stuff
it's just like exactly. I'm like, I think the bar is
pretty unoffensive.
I'm like, I'm like, there are kind of more things to yell at other than me.
So true.
So
you're not hurting anyone.
But on Facebook, I got some like shade from like old women, which I was like,
I get
whatever.
shade on Facebook for the show.
Yeah, I'm like, really?
Yeah, because Sarah has shared. I think this is connected to Sarah's Facebook.
Okay.
And so like it goes up on Sarah's Facebook, and like it's like comments of like we were talking about like a fucking like making a steak or something. Okay. And like it was like, me and Sarah were like, how do you like a steak cooked? We were like medium. And they were like, oh, like they wouldn't know anything about steak and like all this stuff. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, who cares?
I think people who are on Facebook like to critique other people who are making things because they're not making things.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that's okay.
So Facebook was kind of where you were getting the majority.
Yeah. Of like, whatever.
It's kind of like an unsafe space over there on Facebook.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But, I'm like, haters make you famous.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not trying to get famous, but like, if you're not pissing people off, I mean, I have the same frequency, but I'm either making friends or I'm pissing people off.
Yeah.
It's
a good way to look at it.
It's the Gemini in me. It's just like, but it's really, my intentions are always aligned with
you cannot please everyone.
No.
Like, you just can't.
No.
And like that's something that I've learned.
Yeah.
And some people just aren't gonna like it.
No.
But you have your puppets.
I do. So long story longer.
Yeah.
After the first Trump Tower, I went then, when I was do performance piece, I was like, what has Donald Trump not heard Fred Trump say to him?
Fred Trump is father.
Fred Trump is his father. And I feel like the world is now being kind of dragged along by an emotionally dysregulated 12-year-old that is Donald Trump.
Yeah.
He chronologically, we all know he has aged, but physiologically and mentally, he appears to me like a dysregulated 12-year-old. And so from a social work perspective, I've worked with kids around the world for 25 years. I was a social worker in East London and Dagenham for...
How long did you live in London?
15 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You were just back there, right?
Yeah. I've spoken at Parliament.
Really?
Yeah,
what did you speak at Parliament about?
Children's rights.
Really?
Yeah.
You've lived so many lives.
That was kind of part of my activism. But so I have worked with kids. I've been to most prisons in the UK and young offenders institutions. I've worked with a lot of pedophiles.
Okay.
I've worked with a lot of people who have harmed children. And so having a president that has harmed children, it made me think, like, what, as a social worker, if I could be in a room with Donald Trump, what would my my kind of therapeutic angle be?
Yeah.
And he would be a kid that I would say we need to bring out the puppets, because kids who have low empathy benefit from being able to bring out puppets and say, okay, what would the farmer say if this happened, and what would the baker say if that happened? And what you're trying to do is get them to put themselves into
the situation.
somebody else's.
Oh, right, yeah.
Like you want them to get into a
to
a
try to
mindset,
understand what
right.
they would think.
Yes,
outside
like
of themselves.
Outside of themselves.
Okay, right, I get you.
So I was like, oh, I would bring puppets to a therapeutic session with Donald Trump. And I would have a puppet with him and his dad, and I would be curious about what did the conversations look like when Donald and Fred were alive, and what didn't Donald hear enough of from his father.
Right.
Because I think that he is still, and if you look, there's one really fascinating interview with Donald Trump's mother, who was Scottish, was born in a very small town in Scotland and came over to America as a nanny. And in her later years, she's got this kind of like fabulous updo, and she's in Atlantic City, and she's talking about how Donald had taken her and Fred by helicopter from New York to Atlantic City to his casino, and that Fred showed some approval, reluctantly, about but gave approval to Donald, which was like, a rare but important thing, because the helicopter said Trump on it. And so he was all proud, like, look, I've made so much money now that even the helicopter has our name on it. And this is a story that she's telling in the 1980s. But if you look at Donald Trump's behavior now, he's plastering his name on everything. He's putting it on airports in Florida when people haven't even said, like, they haven't voted for it. He's just going, my name's going to be on, the Kennedy Center. My name's going to be, but it's this, he's still, in my opinion, seeking the approval of his dead father, because that was the way in which he received it in life.
And his father was an interesting person.
His father was a slumlord, and was a really bad landlord to thousands of New York City working families, and that's how he made
his fortune,
the wealth, the financial wealth.
And there was an interesting point you mentioned earlier about how he would interview people. Was that?
Fred would make sure that if he was having a business meeting, he would give the person a shorter chair and have them facing the window. So he would be like blinding them and making them feel in stature lower, which is why Donald Trump is obsessed with having like the height of chairs in a room.
Is he?
If you look at it. Yeah. He totally,
Does he do that to people?
I'm sure he does. Yeah, I'm sure he does. But also, like,
that is so fucking rude.
He's been to like to meetings in Europe where he's made people give him a different chair because he doesn't like the height of the chair that he's been given. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I've sat in smaller chairs to people, like, sometimes when you're in a bar.
Yeah.
And like I don't know how it's happened in the past, but like I remember one of my friends was like on a stool and like I sat on a chair and like you're just like, it's like immediately makes you feel so less than.
Oh, not for me.
No? Okay, good.
No.
I would hate that. If someone did that to me, I would hate that.
I used to come into rooms when I was interviewing kids in Dagenham, and I would sit on the floor. Because what I was trying to do was actually give them a sense of, autonomy or power, or like, because I actually like, I don't need a physical space to help me, express my thoughts or where my ego is.
Did you watch Adolescence, that show?
Yeah.
What did you think of that as a social worker?
I thought she did a really good job.
It was a very tense scene.
It was a very tense scene, and I thought she won an award for it, and she gave a beautiful speech that really touched me.
Yeah.
Because I have absolutely been in those rooms, rooms very similar to that.
Yeah.
Working with children who have unfortunately harmed other children, and tried to demonstrate humanity and compassion, and also manage really difficult conversations. So yeah, I was really impressed and happy, because I've seen too many EastEnders that
do you watch EastEnders?
No, but I lived in London and did watch EastEnders, and
I just saw it on TV
doof,
yesterday.
doof, doof, doof.
Yeah. That sound. Yeah, and the zoom out to the Thames.
Yeah. Ugh, I mean, I do miss it, but I miss London. But they were so legally inaccurate in their writing about how social services operates in the UK, and you know, I have a theory that that's because the BBC want to, you know, point the finger at a social worker, because why would they have any critique about funding for social care? Right. The government wants to just make it about individuals.
Yeah, it's the danger of semi-states, I guess.
Yeah.
You know.
So anyway, I was the BBC and EastEnders have not done a great job in portraying social work accurately, but Adolescents did a great job.
Yeah, I thought
powerful.
that was absolutely incredible. And
Yeah,
I'm sure
really
as a
powerful.
social worker, I thought it was great. I'm sure you thought it was amazing. You moved to London when?
2002 at the Golden Jubilee.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Where did you live in London?
I lived in Hackney.
I love Hackney.
Which I should have bought a flat when I did, when I moved there in 2002, because I'd
love
be
Hackney.
Sitting pretty on some crazy turnover. Now, yeah, I lived in Clapton, which at the time was referred to as murder. Clapton.
Oh, Clapton. I haven't heard of that.
Clapton. Yeah,
My friend lives in
Hackney.
Tooting.
Okay.
And we would go to the Tooting market.
Nice.
My other friend lives in Notting Hill.
Uh-huh.
Another friend lives in Islington.
Ah,
So I'm
I
actually
lived in
going
Islington.
in September.
Mm.
Yeah. So I'm going, and I'm going to, myself and Queeve are going to a Jay-Z concert.
Nice.
Because we think Beyonce's
At
going to
the
be there.
O2?
No, in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Oh,
Because
okay.
we think Beyonce's going to be there.
Nice.
Even though I do love Jay-Z, but we're really going because we think Beyonce's going to be there. And you moved back from London when then?
I moved back in 2017.
2017.
9 years ago.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And have you been enjoying being back here?
It's fucking difficult. I hate
and then
it.
because I thought you moved back to London then. Since we've met.
I sort of tried to.
Okay, it's not
Yeah.
that easy.
No, well, it's just complicated. I was working for a mental health company in the States.
Yeah.
And left because they were saying they did all this stuff about diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging on their website, and they did not do that. And for a year, I campaigned for them to actually follow through on what they said they did, and they didn't. So I kind of left all guns blazing and wanted to move back to the UK and was doing some shows back there. But ultimately, my husband makes way more money than I do in whatever country we live in. So I ended up kind of moving back and working at the Carousel.
Yeah, so
instead of being a social worker in Dagenham
Wait, so listen to this. This is probably my favorite part, that Amanda works operating the Carousel in Dumbo.
Yes.
Like, that's amazing.
Yes.
You must meet incredible people there.
I do. I meet people from all over the world, and it's funny because I don't have a license to drive.
Right, okay.
I've never had one. A car, yeah.
Okay.
I failed.
Maybe thought you meant to drive a Carousel.
No. Like, I don't have a license to drive a car, and I failed 3 driving tests in 2 different countries. Whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. But I do have a license to operate an amusement ride in New York State. And so I'm a carousel operator in Dumbo.
Yeah.
And it's a place of joy. I mean, I just make sure people get on and off safely.
That brings you joy.
And and there's always a wedding or a quinceañera, or like people come to Dumbo to celebrate. And so I'm just a part of that, and being in service to families from all over the world, and making sure that they have a happy time riding a 104-year-old carousel.
I've never actually gone on it, but I know
you need
the one
to
that you're talking
come.
about. I will, absolutely. I'll take you up on
yeah.
that. Do you do you have Irish connections?
I absolutely do.
Yeah?
Yes.
What is that?
Well, so my father's family came over from County Mayo.
That's where I'm from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where in Mayo?
I don't know.
Wait, we talked about that. You didn't. Yeah.
I don't know exactly where. I've just been told, like,
and you
your
still
family.
saw they won the All Ireland.
Yes.
Yeah. How amazing.
The curse has been broken.
Yeah.
I know.
It's fucking so amazing.
It is amazing.
Like so class. How like
yes.
Even like like if I'm on TikTok, like I've seen like if you guys don't know what's going on in County Mayo in Ireland, you need to check it out. Like, and it's like it's fucking global. It's amazing.
As it should be.
Yeah.
As it should be. But yeah, so I always grew up with storytelling. I grew up with going to bed and my dad telling me stories.
Yeah.
And also about our Irish heritage and about 1916. And, you know, he was a big, I mean, he used to write to prisoners in, paramilitary prisoners of the IRA throughout his life. So when he died, we still continued to receive letters.
Oh, wow.
From people who that he wrote to in Ireland. And so I kind of grew up with a sense of belonging to Ireland. And he never got to visit when he was alive.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
But when he was in the hospice, there was a circular window, and he was a sailor, and he kind of came out of a moment of sleeping and said, the reason why I'm so tired is because I'm jet lagged because I took a boat to Ireland.
Wow.
So on his deathbed, he visited Ireland, which is a really beautiful.
Is that how did you find out about Seanchoiche then? Is that?
Yeah, I mean, well, so I also, I scanned all of the pictures, smoking weed,
Yes.
and listening to the Blind Boy podcast.
Oh, he's amazing.
He's amazing. And listening to James Joyce's Ulysses. So those were the two
I'm not sure I could. Oh, no, Ulysses, maybe I could give it a go. Is it Finnegan's Wake is like that's like impossible. Have you given it a go?
No.
I don't think I could.
No, but listen, Ulysses was really recited. James Joyce, and there's an interesting connection between the photos and James Joyce.
Yeah.
Which is that my dad's photography teacher was a woman named Bernie Sabat, and she was a lesbian in the 1930s and lived in Paris in the 1920s, and she took pictures of James Joyce.
Wow.
So for the cover of Ulysses, there's a picture that goes along with that. That was taken by Bernie Sabat. And she was the one who really taught my family how to take documentary style photos. So I've been to the James Joyce Festival 2 years running in Dublin to tell the story about James Joyce and his relationship with queer women, of whom Bernie Sabat was one of them.
Okay.
But yeah, so I think for me, Ireland and the practice. The spiritual practice of storytelling, they are absolutely connected,
and it totally is innate to Irish people. And I honestly don't even think that we as Irish people or like people I know realize that. But like that's like our whole thing. Our whole shtick is storytelling.
But I think it's genetic.
Yeah, it honestly is. Like because I see I mean I'm very lucky. Like both my mom and my dad are like huge storytellers, and they love to like take you right through everything. And like my friend James Duffy said to me recently, he was laughing when he was listening to the podcast. It was like one of the first episodes. Sarah was like, okay, Jack, what did you do on St. Patrick's Day? And I said, okay, so I woke up and had a slice of toast and an egg. And like, that's like where it begins. You know what I mean? And like when James pointed that out to me, I was pissing myself laughing because I knew that he would think that that's really funny when he said it to me.
Yes.
But okay, do I have the place for you next week?
Fabulous. Tell me about it.
So Morefest is on next week. They're actually sponsoring today's episode, so shout out to the Morefest team.
Thank you.
It is an Irish festival being held in Taramore in Midtown Manhattan, right beside MSG.
Oh wow!
For 5 days. It is essentially they're only going to be offering Irish products, Irish food, Irish liquor, Irish beer. They won't be serving anything that is not Irish. It's everyday live Irish music, Irish gigs. They're flying over really big Irish talent to take part. They have people like Ronan Mitchell, who's an amazing presenter, really everyone loves him. Cassie Stokes, who's like a food content creator in Ireland. Owen Colgan, he's from a show called The Hardy Bucks. I don't know, you should check that out because that's actually filmed in Mayo.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a fucking hilarious show. It's definitely smoke a joint and watch that. Yeah, you'd really enjoy that. And yeah, live Irish music performances. It's all Irish for 5 days straight.
I'm so there.
Yeah, so like starts Wednesday the 19th. I'm pretty sure that's the 19th. Straight through to the 23rd. And yeah, it's shaping up to be really, great crack. People are talking about it, like people in Ballina have been asking my mum about it. So yeah, it's definitely, it'll be great. And like, you know what, it's just like the perfect place to celebrate it, New York. and there's so many Irish people here.
Yeah.
And we're all really, really looking forward to it. So you definitely, I'll send you the link for the tickets,
Please.
and I will provide all details for the ticketing below. But like they have like a dating show on the Saturday. On the Sunday there's like a perfect pint competition, so bartenders from around the city are gonna come and like try pour a perfect pint. But yeah, it's so funny because I honestly find myself in situations out here in New York where I'm just like how am I here? You know, I thought I was gonna move to New York and be like, I'm, you know, in NBC Towers and I'm here with whoever and it's amazing and we're in a helicopter or whatever. And like recently, like I was at a book launch for the Donegal Association. This guy, I think, oh God, I forget the name of the book. But this guy like grew up in Ireland and then moved to London actually. I could find you the name of it. When he was younger, and it's basically about that, like growing up in Ireland back in the 1920s.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And 1940s. Sorry, 1920s would be
I was like
a bit extreme. Yeah. But I found myself at that, and like I was just there, like I was like, this is more Irish than like being at an event in Mayo.
Well, and
you know?
I mean, I think coming back to what I was
Which
saying
I love.
about how I feel like it's genetic, it's that, you know, I was brought up by, you know, my father, who was like brought up by his father, talking about the famine and talking about how that was not just crops that didn't come.
More,
It was political. It was an intentional.
Systemic.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so for me, storytelling is not just about what you told your kids so that they would go to sleep. It was telling a good enough story so that you were hungry enough to wake up in the morning and still be alive, basically. That you might be going to bed hungry, but you were still wanting,
giving you the hope.
Yeah.
It reminds me, I was in Woodlawn actually, which is have you ever been up there?
No.
It's in Yonkers.
Okay.
It's hugely Irish. Like there's a place called McLean Avenue. I fucking speak about Woodlawn on this show all the time, but there's a place called McLean Avenue. It's like all Irish pubs, Irish coffee shops. Like it's I love it up there. That's where like GAA Park is, where like the lads play and the girls, play GAA and camogie, and hurling. But there was a house, and on the front window there's a sign, and it says, and she's a beautiful garden. I spoke to the woman because she like sits on her porch, and she has a beautiful garden, and I spoke to her about it, and the sign says, to plant is to believe in tomorrow. So that's kind of what storytelling is, and that's kind of what, like, you know, I guess when I was trying to explain to you about like what this show is it's, you know, it's definitely maybe random, but it's people who I've come across in my real life that I think have a story to tell. And you most certainly have numerous. I'd say we could get a full season. And it just gives people the chance to share those stories in a medium that, you know, you can revisit and share and watch, and it's there forever, you know.
Oh, and I think what's so beautiful about you is that you have a natural curiosity.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Which makes for a beautiful exchange.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually kind of rare.
Yeah.
In today's culture, to be curious about others.
Yeah.
And where do we intersect?
Yeah.
And so thank you.
Yeah. No, thank you so much for coming on. I really, really appreciate it. And it's always a joy.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And hopefully you'll come back.
Oh, yeah,
do it again.
Absolutely.
Put it there, sister.
With the pussy drum intact.
With the pussy drum, yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yay. Well done.
Yes.
New Yorkers, I'm talking to you. August 19th to 23rd, put it in your calendar. Morefest is New York City's first festival dedicated entirely to celebrating everything Irish. Taking place in Tower Moor, a Donegal-owned business in the heart of Manhattan, Morefest will showcase the very best of Ireland through food, drink, of course, music, entertainment, business, sport, and culture. For a city home to more than 2.1 million residents of Irish descent, one of the largest Irish communities anywhere outside of Ireland, there is no better place to celebrate the success of the Irish than New York City. Check out their Instagram for the full lineup. There is truly something for everyone across the 5 days. Tickets are available at Morefest NYC on their Instagram or www.morefestnyc.com. I will be there with bells and whistles, and I hope to see you there too. Thank you very much.